and welcome to Disney Movie Investigations. This is our case file on Annie, along with the bonus story of MGM Hollywood Studios' opening day attraction, Superstar Television. So for those of you that this is our first time watching, what we do is we take a different Disney movie and break it down into its history of how it got made, how the reaction was, and its long-lasting legacy within the Disney universe. So like I said, this week's video is going to be on Annie, along with our bonus story on Hollywood Studios' opening day attraction, Superstar Television. So let's take a look at Annie. This movie was released on November 7th, 1999, and it was directed by Rob Marshall. And if that name sounds familiar, he would direct Chicago for Disney as well as Pirates of the Caribbean 4. It was written by Irene Menchie, and it's based on the Little Orphan Annie musical by Charles Strouse, Martin Chornin, and Thomas Meehan. But let's look at how the film got made. So Annie is a 1999 made-for-TV movie for the Wonderful World of Disney television program. It actually was a Sunday night movie premiere. And the film was produced by Walt Disney Television, Columbia TriStar Television, Storyline Entertainment, and Chris Morton Productions. And this is of note because Annie marks the first time, the first film collaboration between the Walt Disney Company and Columbia Pictures, since Columbia's distributed some of Disney's short animated films in the early 1930s. So it was a reuniting of the two studios. So the production history is that ABC began working on the film after the success of another TV movie musical that they made, Cinderella, starring Whitney Houston and Brandy. And although the stage musical Annie had already been adapted as a film in 1982, the film was deemed, unfortunately, a critical and commercial failure. I still think it's a good film, but my opinion only goes so far. So producers Chris Zoden and Neil Moran saw that remaking the musical Annie was an opportunity to change the mistakes that were made in the previous film. And they enlisted Cinderella's choreographer Rob Marshall to direct, and they asked Rob Marshall to make sure that the orphans were ethnically diverse. So in the only production kind of story that I found on this is that in 2017, cast member Audrey McDonald recalled that the final scene of the movie where Grace is proposed to by Daddy Warbucks was actually reshot because some executives found that they were a little uncomfortable with having an African-American woman engage with a white gentleman. However, the cast and crew were actually very upset about this, and the fellow cast member, Victor Garber, intentionally performed the reshooting scene badly so it would not be used. And then Rob Marshall was also upset about this, so he did the new scene in one take, knowing that it wouldn't be used, and then used so basically he could say that he was following orders, and then he used the rest of the time to do pickup shots to make sure that the film was better. So he did follow orders, but he knew that the new scene was never going to be used. So now that we kind of know the production history, let's look at the cast. So this movie stars Victor Garber as Oliver Daddy Warbucks, Alicia Morton as Annie, Audra McDonald as Grace Farrell, Kathy Bates as Miss Hannigan, Alan Cumming as Rooster, and Kristen Chenoweth as Lily St. Regis. So like I said, it was released on television on November 7th, 1999, and this proved to be really successful because it ended up being an estimated 26.3 million viewers, the most viewers ever for a TV movie released by Disney, only behind the Cinderella movie, the previous Cinderella movie. And they actually used this in order to make a third musical, The Music Man with Matthew Broderick, which we are going to cover in a future video as well. So Annie has continued to be aired on ABC television along with ABC Family, the Stars Network, as well as the Hallmark Channel as well. So again, there's not a lot of story to this. It's basically a pretty basic musical. I thought the musical numbers were very creative. You can tell that Rob Marshall has a great background in choreography. because they were very elaborately done. Easy Street is my favorite part of this. Like, it was very well done with Alan Cumming, Kathy Bates, and Kristen Chenoweth. In the case of Alan Cumming and Kristen Chenoweth, you see their theatrical background in this number because it's very vaudevillian like and very like over the top, which makes it really enjoyable to watch. In terms of the negatives, unfortunately, the chemistry between Daddy Warbucks, Victor Garber, and Annie is not the greatest. You can tell, and unfortunately, this I've seen a lot of productions of Annie, and this unfortunately is the number one kind of critique of a lot of them, is that the chemistry between Annie and Warbucks is not the greatest, and it kind of just sets the whole tone of the film, of the musical. So they tried, but I think overall this is a great family film. I think it has more positives than it does negatives. So definitely I would check out, especially if you're a fan of the movie Annie, because it is quite faithful to the musical as well. So that's pretty much it for Annie. It's not a long video on that one because, again, there's not a lot to talk about. But I thought I would include, being that this was a made-for-TV movie, a opening day attraction for Hollywood Studios as our bonus story. So Superstar Television is going to be our bonus story this week. And Superstar Television was an opening day attraction at the then called MGM Hollywood Studios theme park, and currently it's called Disney's Hollywood Studios. And guests would line up in a holding area, hoping that trying to get the MC's attention, because several of the audience members would be picked so that they could be part of the show. In the beginning, for the first year or so, there was an introductory film hosted by Alan Alda, and he would do an opening welcoming video for guests as they were being led into a 1,000-seat theater. It didn't last very long. I couldn't find any reason why, but yeah, that was initially there. And then once inside the theater, guests would see a blue screen stage along with 8 6-foot wide projection screens. So every seat was a good seat, then no matter where you sat in the theater. And then the guests that would be selected would appear in the following segments for the audience to enjoy and watch. So the first segment is the broadcast day beginning at 7:59 a.m., July 18th, 1955, and chimes of When You Wish Upon a Star would start the broadcast day, and then an episode of the Today Show with a guest giving a new newscast about the opening of Disneyland was featured. The next segment was the Howdy Doody Show with a sing-along of the theme song, where guests in the audience would be the Peanut Gallery, and they would sing along to the theme song. Next segment was a I Love Lucy episode, Job Switching, with the famous conveyor belt scene. I think everyone has basically seen this scene with Lucille Ball stuffing the chocolates in her mouth. The selected guests would play Ethel Mertz again, alongside Lucille Ball. The MC then would talk about the transition from black and white television to color television, and then these shows would be featured with guests appearing in the segments. A soap opera scene featuring Sonia and David from General Hospital. A commercial for the Wonderful World of Disney television show. A commercial for the Ed Sullivan Show. A commercial for Bonanza. And I think this next segment is the most remembered thing. It was the opening theme song segment to the show Gilligan's Island, where guests would portray each of the characters. They would then show news footage of Apollo 11 with guests reenacting the famous moon landing. Three Stooges segment featuring a pie fight. An episode of Cheers where guests would appear as extras in the bar. A Golden Girls episode. Howard Cosell's Sports Break. The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson. And finally, ending the show, a segment that was featured on The Late Show with David Letterman. So the show basically remained intact for the entire time that it was an attraction in Hollywood Studios. The only alterations were later segments from Empty Nest, which was an ABC show, and Home Improvement were added as part of the show as well. So the last show was September 26, 1998. And the reason that it closed is the building was redesigned to include a new show for Disney's Hollywood Studios, which would be Dug Live in the summer of 1999. So my personal memories of this attraction, I thought it was a really cool experience. I only got to do it once, and I was very, very young, but my dad actually got to play Al Borland alongside Tim Taylor on the blue screen, where they dressed him up in like a plaid shirt and everything, and they had him do an opening segment to Home Improvement. So I thought it was really cool. Again, I thought it was a cool way to show guests blue screen technology, as well as to get guests interactive. So I just thought I'd share the about Superstar Television, guys. So that's going to do it for this video. It's a little bit shorter this week, but I get this feeling that you guys are liking the shorter videos. And I thought I would show just this week's artifact. Last week, we're recording this on November 22nd, 2020. And last week was Mickey Mouse's 92nd birthday, as well as this year also marks the 80th anniversary of Fantasia. So I thought I would share. This is a Sorcerer Mickey Vinylmation that I received. And this I received at the 25th anniversary of the Disney store while I was working there. And I'll just turn it on. And it lights up as well. So I thought that was kind of cool. Kind of cool collectible. Yeah. And again, this year is the 80th anniversary of Fantasia. So, and actually the 20th anniversary of Fantasia 2000 as well. So yeah, that's going to do it about this for this week's video, guys. I hope you guys enjoy. Our next case file is going to be the winner of our November bonus poll, which is the Rocky Horror Picture Show. So I hope you guys are having a great night, great weekend, and I will catch you guys on the next video. All right, have a great day. Bye.